All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for the upcoming week's Breakout Watchlist. This will cover December 21st to the 24th. Friday's Christmas. That day is off for the market, and Christmas Eve, the 24th, is a half day. I think the market closes at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So for this video, I'll be going over 20 different stocks that are set up. Typically we do about 15, but this week I added in a couple of different strategies that may work, or a couple different setups. So expanded the list to 20. You can see last week we had a very, very good week. Our watch list averaged 9.6% on the week, which is not typical. It's not that strong typically, but we had great winners with CalX 27%, REGI almost 22%, and IIPR 17.1. With this list, we're looking for really strong stocks in strong uptrends, so above their 200-day simple moving average, and that metric is in an uptrend. Little or no overhead volume, so no resistance up top, and 150% from their 52-week lows. There will be timestamps for each of the stocks that I cover. Those will be in the comment section. And if you enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We do these breakout watch lists on Sunday morning, a live stream in the middle of the week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then a trading recap on Friday. Also, I post most often on StockTwits, so give me a follow there, but also on TikTok and Twitter. Quick disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Trading comes with risk. Here is the stock lineup. Not going to call out each of these individually, but in the video, we'll cover each of the charts. So let's just jump into it. So first we have AA. So zooming out, you see the 200, 50, 20, and 8 are all in the right order. This had ran up just under 100%, 98, 97% since the beginning of November. And since then, it has pulled back to the 20-day simple moving average. And that pullback was only 12%. So high tight flag, over 90% in 8 weeks or less, with a pullback of less than 25%. Those breakouts have been working the best. Last week, we saw a couple names move off that 20-day simple moving average after the pullback. So definitely want to keep an eye on this one. Friday had an inside day on lighter selling volume as it gave just more time for that 20-day to catch up. So unfortunately, with this kind of fake breakout squat, that's going to keep the entry point a little bit higher, but keep this on your watch list. Maybe the first half of the week goes by and it creates a couple more sideways candles, and then you can get in with a break over Friday's high of 22.61. Otherwise, Thursday's high of 23.21 would be a buy point. That's AA. Next, we have AEIS, so similar 250, 28 on the right order. This had run just under 90%, so not a high tight flag, but a strong performer up to where you're currently sitting. You did have this undercut at the previous low after a pull down, and the 20-day simple moving average provided support on Friday with the low of the day bouncing there. Just want to point out a lot of the candles on Friday are going to have more volume than usual. That's not to say that there was a lot of selling volume on this day. And you'll see that in a couple of the charts that we focus on. But this is creating a nice low pivot here with the highs. The second half of last week, 101.60, 102, 101.72, so all right around that same price. So a break of 102.04 would be a possible buy point. One thing that I don't love about this chart is the volume on the largest volume day outside of Friday, because we're not going to count that, was on a selling day towards the high of the move. So that's something to be concerned of, just a strike against the chart. Next, we have AGYS. This one, similar kind of strike to it. Largest volume day was on a selling day near the end of the pullback, which typically you want those pullbacks to be as quiet as possible. But this name does have some power to it. I think this was up, yeah, 81% in a couple weeks. Now we see a pullback to that 20-day, things getting tight. Breakout over some possible buy points on Thursday there, and then pulled back on Friday. So this is probably going to need the full week to set up, but if we break over 41.71, that would be the buy point, the high from Friday. Next we have BCOV, Bright Cove. As you can see, 250.28, all in the right order. This is starting to turn up. This is another one that I'll probably give the first half of the week. Maybe it creates this little cup handle and then goes. Otherwise, if we just break through the high from December 9th, that's 1824, that would be the move. This is a high tide flag. Next we have BHVN. This is one that I traded earlier with this breakout. This got super quiet through here, bought on break there, and then sold some into strength, and then got stopped out of the rest. And then right after it checked back to the breakout point, it took off again. But now it's creating another mini base with the pullback there. Let's see, the pullback was only 16%. So this isn't going to be one of those breakouts that go 100% in a short amount of time, but this is a quality setup that I wanted to mention. You can see this pulled back and has created resistance along like 4 daily highs there. It's not perfectly drawn, but you see one there, one in the middle, Thursday, and then Friday's high. So break over Friday's high or Thursday's high, $93. So call it $93. That would be your buy point. You can see the 8-day exponential moving average turning back up after it did cross under the 20-day, and the low of the day on Friday touching that 8-day exponential moving average. That's a really nice indicator that I use for a lot of my trades. So if we could get a break over that, I love the inside candle after a strong move higher to a resistance point. That just sets up the trade for a nice clean entry. So with BHVN, that's a break over 93. Next we have CDAY. I think this was on last week's watch list as well, but it keeps on just trading sideways, shaking people out, setting up the trade. But off the lows, I think it's, yeah, 150%, just clears that 150% requirement that I have for this watch list. But you can see we have a nice flush here, undercutting a lot of the previous lows. And then just as this set up, the following week, I thought we were going to just check back here, breakout, because a lot of the breakouts were happening last week. This one traded sideways, and then on Friday, undercut those previous lows. So these lower wicks, if you're not already in the trade, you like to see because clears out all the stops, gets who's in to be a new trader. And then we do have a nice lower pivot here, 98, 92, 98, 94 with those daily highs. So break over 92 or 98, 92 would be the buy point. One strike against that is that large volume day right here. Next, we have CDMO. Another one that might need the first half of the week, or it just blows right through the highs here, but looking at that as a possible buy point. So 1162 would be your buy point if it moves up. It's pulled back to that 8-day exponential moving average after about a 60% move, I think it was. Yeah, 66% move off the lows in November. So again, not as powerful as those high tide flags that I really like to trade, but quality setup. If this kind of pulls down and allows the 20-day simple moving average to catch up and then just goes, that would be the ideal setup. So trying to be patient with this one, but if it goes, it goes. Next, we have CRSP, sorry. This one, I believe is a high tight flag. Yeah, 90% move up in 8 weeks or less, and then a pullback of this only pulled back 14%. High tight flags can have 25% pullback. So very nice tight pullback, riding that 8-day exponential moving average very, very well. Friday was an inside day, so the highs were lower than the previous day's high. The lows were higher than the previous day's lows. And then on that, so what you're looking for is just a break over Thursday's high, 152.49 as a possible buy point. This is a really nice setup. You can see the volume coming back in as it's trading sideways. And all the green days have the most volume. So definitely one that I will be watching next week. Next we have FATE, F-A-T-E. This is another one that might need maybe a couple more weeks, but high tight flag, up 141% since November, that first pullback there. So a lot of power, a lot of volume coming in on the breakout, and then things got nice and quiet through the pullback, and it looks like it could be turning up here. Ideally, it hasn't even touched the 8-day exponential moving average. With a lot of these setups, because we have a lot of quality setups, we're going to be a little bit more picky with what we're trading. So if this immediately takes off, I'm not going to be trading it personally, but if this can kind of move down to the right a little bit more, let that 20-day simple moving average catch up, at least test the 8-day, and then create the high of Friday as a pivot. Otherwise, if you're buying this kind of move, it's a little aggressive before all the moving averages catch up. So that's FATE. Let's give that a little bit of time. Next, we have FCX. This one has been in a just very consistent, strong uptrend all year and is starting to base out here. So peaked on December 4th. Since then, just some sideways trading action. You can see the volume during that sideways action, much lighter than most of the uptrend. So that's constructive. Not a lot of traders are trying to get out. 20-day simple moving average still has some time to catch up there. But you do have kind of two local highs right there to buy if it just immediately gets going. So 25.18, this is probably a little higher, 25.20. So call it 25.20, break over that is your buy point. Next we have HUBS. This is one that I traded last week and then got stopped out on this candle. So this is where if you're in the trade, you don't like those lower wick candles because they stop you out. But if you're outside of the trade waiting for it to set up, that's ideal because it cleans out all the traders that got in a little bit too early. So I got in, break over that candle high, and just immediately got stopped out on that guy. Since that undercut, had a couple sideways days, and then Thursday, Friday took off. And now this might be already a little too late, but it hasn't fully extended from the breakout point. So if we do check back again, then you can use the break over Friday's high of 405.12 as a possible buy point. I just wanted to put this on the watch list because so I could explain that kind of shakeout area and the fact that it's not too far extended. It's still buyable at this point. That's HUBS. Next is INOD. This might be one of my favorite setups of the group. You see nice tennis ball action like Mark Minervini always talks about. You want the breakouts to come on very high volume, then sideways or pullback action on very light volume. Look at the volume candles on these breakout days while the pullbacks are super, super light. So that's exactly what you want to see going up. And then this is pulled down 21%, but much of that was in this long lower wick on Friday that undercut all the lows from the last breakout point. And just like we covered, that's exactly what you want to see. So that cleared out all of the stops, and then it ran up and didn't recapture the 8-day. That would have been ideal if it closed a green hammer candle, but still nice to see that kind of close. Um, so I would be looking with this still a little bit more cautious on it. Maybe it trades sideways for a little bit, but if we break over the high from December 14th, that's 547 right through here. It's forming a smaller pivot. You could, I don't know, you could take it from 543, 547. Just have to balance that risk reward. The lower you buy, the higher probability that it's not actually breaking out and it's going to stop you out. But if it does get going, then you have that lower price entry, so you make more money. But let's keep an eye on this guy. Next, we have IR. This is another one that I have traded in the past, tried to get on this breakout. It's an IPO that has created a nice flat base through here, and shook me out on this day where it undercut all of those previous lows, hit my stop loss. Then we had some inside days going. Thursday rallied a little bit, and then Friday just kind of stayed still. So this is one where you buy if it breaks over Friday's high, 45.89. And yeah, very strong move through here. I think this was 30%. With these IPOs, you have to be a little bit more aggressive with your timing. Next, we have KBNT. This one very early, but again, you have to be more aggressive when you don't have as much time to work with. What did this pull down? 33% pullback after a 288% move higher. So using that 8-day exponential moving average is fine. It looks like it's holding that piece very well. Not technically an inside day, but to the previous day, Friday would have been an inside day to Wednesday. So you can tell things are getting nice and tight through this range. So a break over Friday's high, 770 would be a possible buy point. Otherwise, break over Wednesday's high, 790, maybe even $8 if you want to wait for that round number breakout. But look at the volume coming in on the breakout, and then think got nice and quiet as it pulled back. Exactly what you want to see. That's KBNT. Next we have LSPD, and this is another one where we got a nice undercut of all the previous lows, or maybe not all of them. Let's see, 56.12, 56.30. So didn't quite get this guy, but got a lot of those daily lows undercut on Friday as this pulled back. 20-day simple moving average is just starting to move up to that would be ideal if this has Monday, Tuesday sideways, the 20-day comes up for support. This is a high tight flag as well, up 104% since beginning of November, and a pullback of only 10%. So really thin pullback so far. And that's exactly what you like to see. So if you can, buy with a break over Friday's high of 60.08. That would be your buy point. Next, we have NET, another one that I've traded in the past. You can see, actually, let me just take those off, but nice action through here, broke out on high volume there, and then I sold all into strength there, but let me take this off so it's a little bit cleaner. Fence, trade history. So here you have all these like minor red days with some longer lower wicks showing that every time it pulled back, buyers stepped in to keep the price higher. Volume, again, we're ignoring that last Friday day, but some consistent volume as it fought back and closed slightly higher every day, riding that 8-day exponential moving average very well. So a break over Friday's high, that would be 84.20, and that matches the high from December 14th of 84.20. So breakout over 84.20 is your buy point. Got Four more for you guys. NIU is next. This one is right at the lower end of the base here, so it would be very aggressive to buy this. But again, if you get in at the lowest price, if it does go, you have the highest profit. So zooming out, really strong move this year for NIU. What was it off the highs? 500% move through here. Then we had a pullback of 30% only. So I look for stocks that have pulled back within 50%, ideally 40% or less. So the 30%, that's perfect, not too much. Volume getting nice and quiet in the base. The one up day had the highest volume in the past couple days through there. That was a fake breakout, broke out and squatted again, some sideways action, and then on Friday we got a nice drift higher. So I would be looking to buy with a break over December 11th high of 30.25. But again, that's right at the bottom of the base. So the lower you buy in the base, the higher chance you have of getting stopped out of the base not actually turning up. But if it works out, you have that lowest entry and you'll get the most profit. So that's NIU. This is one that I keep on setting for alerts for, Palantir, and it just hasn't quite hit. I first tried to take the trade with this pullback day. I was looking for this to really undercut the low from December 10th, and then I would have bought back. I would have bought on the rally back, but we just undercut that. Let's see, low 25.11 compared to 25.15. Not enough time, not enough basically price to get pulled back to set up that pullback buy. But you could see the next day it did rally, and then it got hit with a downgrade on Friday that pulled it down. But this is getting nice and tight. 20-day simple moving average coming up, providing support, and it's an IPO. I think high tight flags. That's 230. No, this might be a little bit wide. Yeah, a little bit wide for a high tight flag, but very quiet action through here after everyone was talking about Palantir as this was moving up. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Things are getting nice and defined in this range. Everyone's agreeing on this price going through here. So with that 20-day simple moving average coming up, let's see if that bounces it higher. Break over 27.45 would be your buy point. SDC. This is another IPO just filling and working out at its base. It looks like it's forming a nice pivot through here. It's not perfect. So it already kind of broke that on Friday, but if we just check back and then move over that high, that would be a possible buy point. But again, this is lower in the base, IPO base, so more risk that it just turns around and like rechecks the 50-day simple moving average before breaking out, but one to keep an eye out for. I'm still IPOs are still kind of tricky for me, so I'm trying to challenge myself with taking a look at as many of those charts as I can to get used to them. And finally, we have SWAV. You can see a nice clean uptrend through here, pulled back, and then ricocheted with very high volume. Since then, we had another steep pullback that undercut many previous lows through this rally, and kind of a VCP, I guess, setup. Let's see, first pullback 17%, next pullback 6%. You can call it what you want. Either way, this is tightening up. This range is tightening up, and you do have three highs to almost three highs, basically. Three highs to draw your resistance and your buy point. So break over 182 would be your buy point. That's Friday's high. And then also, because we're dealing with that round number of 100, typically when stocks break through that, they tend to keep running. And after a really nice like check back through here, undercutting all those lows, and then it's got very quiet volume through the pullback. Definitely one to watch for. Maybe I don't know. I struggle to say what's my favorite setup, but this is definitely one of the top ones going into this week. All right, so that is the breakout watch list for the week. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Please leave a like and comment any stocks that I didn't cover on here, but you think are setting up to break out in the upcoming week. Remember, half day on Thursday, Friday, markets not open. Give me a follow on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok, and subscribe to the channel. Have a great week.